From the heart of Wayne County, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Well, today is Friday. It's July 1st, 2016, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley. Pat's out on assignment. She'll be with us in just a few minutes. Yeah, right in the middle of the show. She's just going to appear all of a sudden. Yeah. Hey, it's a July 4th weekend. A lot of people have the Monday off, and I'll remind you that if you're having a gathering this weekend, if you're cooking out this weekend, please use some common sense. You don't want to have a problem over the weekend. This is supposed to be a lot of people use this time to be with family and to be with friends and just to have a good time. So have a good time and be safe this holiday weekend. As you're traveling about the county or around the country, please wear your seatbelt. Please wear your seatbelt. Think of your family. All right, let's move on now. Coming up this Monday, the Monday's closed. The courthouse will be closed. All county offices will be closed. City of Goldsboro offices will be closed as well. The Wayne County Public Library will be closed, and all the branches closed as well on Monday. Also, the Wayne County landfill and convenience centers will be closed Monday. However, the Wayne County landfill alone will be open to commercial haulers on Wednesday. Normally, that's closed to everyone. All right, moving on now. The Board of Elections office here in Goldsboro, Rand Beavers and his fine staff over there, announcing that they have a precinct official position open. If you're interested in becoming a precinct official for the next election, here you go. The Wayne County Board of Elections recruiting new precinct officials for the November election. It's a paid position. I don't know how much. But the requirements are that you be a registered voter in Wayne County, that you be capable of operating a laptop, that you be willing to work on Election Day from 6 a.m. until 8:30 p.m., that you be able to attend a 2-hour training session and remain nonpartisan and impartial. Now, if you want to know more about this, you can call the Board of Elections office at 919-731-1411, or you can go online to WayneBoats.com, and get more information. Well, it's that time of year again. National Night Out is right around the corner, coming up about a month from now on August the 2nd. This will be taking place at Herman Park. Everything gets underway at 6 p.m. Vendors should be setting up by 5:30. Help make your community strong and safe and attend National Night Out. There's free food, there's a resource fair with music and entertainment. Oh boy, lots of fun, sponsored by a whole bunch of nice people. That's August 2nd, beginning at 6 p.m. at Herman Park. Hope you're able to make that. That's always a lot of fun, and it gets bigger every year. If you have pets, it is the 4th of July weekend, and some pets, well, they don't do well with loud noises. Take, for instance, thunderstorms and that sort of thing. Lightning strikes all around, lots of bangs and booms. Some dogs get pretty rattled during thunderstorms and such, and the 4th of July weekend or 4th of July is absolutely no different. They hear explosions, they hear firecrackers, and that's no different. They get scared. So here's what you need to do. You need to keep your pets secured inside your home during the 4th of July if they tend to be skittish during the explosions, firecrackers, and that sort of thing. Give them a safe place to hide. Say, here, get under that bed over there, or hey, crawl into that hamper, okay? Set up a comfortable room or a crate in your house just for them. Use ambient noise to mask the outside noise. In other words, turn on the radio, the TV, make a noise of some kind, okay? Give them a set of drums to play, whatever. Also, update their IDs and microchips. You know, once in a while, a dog will get lost or misplaced, or a dog will run away because of the noise and such. Well, if they have that microchip updated, you know, and today you can possibly find someone do that today because Monday is 4th of July. Also, skip the celebration. Stay home with your pets. Why not? Your pet's a member of your family, right? Okay. Keep them busy. Treat them with toys and things like that, okay, and treats and such. The Soil and Water Office here in Wayne County offering a position It's an elected position, the supervisor for the Soil and Water Office here in Wayne County. If you feel you'd be qualified to do that, you need to talk to someone at the Board of Elections office to be on the November election as the Soil and Water Office supervisor. That number, 919-731-1411. You must be a registered voter in Wayne County and at least 21 years of age. You must be eligible to vote for the office for which you are intending to file. And there's a lot of other stuff as well. The Board of Elections office can give you more information about that. Hey, our congratulations to Colonel Christopher Sage. Colonel Sage is now the commander at the 4th Fighter Wing at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Way to go. Yeah, now Colonel Slocum is on his way over to the UK, to Mildenhall. He is director now of U.S. Air Forces in Europe at Royal Air Force Mildenhall. Congratulations to Colonel Slocum there. That's a great job. They picked a fine man for that job. But here we want to welcome again, because Colonel Sage has been here before. He has, twice. So welcome back to Colonel Christopher Sage, assuming command of the 4th Fighter Wing at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. We appreciate that. Hey, today is July 1, and that means on July 14th, the next Center Street Jam will be the Band of Oz. Band of Oz coming up July 14th. We got a lot of stuff for you to listen and watch here on Wayne Goldsboro Television. We're going to head now south of the city, and I'll tell you here in just a minute where we're going to be. I think you're going to like this, all right? We'll also join Pat at our new location, and we'll be there in just a second. Right now, we're going to talk all about swimming pools and how to stay safe this summer at your swimming pool. Yeah, with Scott Lewis. All right? We'll be back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Today we're with Scott Lewis of the Environmental Health Office for Wayne County. And Scott, you're a supervisor there. And today we're next to a swimming pool here. And where are we, by the way?
We're at the Reserve at Bradbury on New Hope Road here in Goldsboro.
This is a nice condominium environment here. And on New Hope Road, as you mentioned, we're next to the swimming pool. And today we're going to discuss 5 important safety rules around swimming pools.
Yes,
so,
sir.
okay, so why is this important and where do we start?
Well, one of the things you'd like to start with, us as inspectors, we come out and do inspections of all the pools here in Wayne County.
Okay.
And I've tried to water this down to 5 points that everybody in the county can feel comfortable with, that whenever they come out to a pool in our county, whether it be here, out of town, out of state, that they can just walk around, get familiar with a pool, and look at some of the safety points of every pool.
Okay, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. First of all, the Inspections Department for Wayne County inspects all the swimming pools in Wayne County.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
All the public pools?
Yes, sir.
All right, all the public pools are inspected, and how often do you do that?
We do an opening inspection in April, and we come by and check every pool at least once a year. Our year-round pools we check twice a year.
Twice a year. So what are you looking for?
There's a long list of inspection points that we look at, but today we're just going to talk about 5 points that everybody in the county can get familiar with and walk around and take a look at that anybody could do.
That anybody could do. So you want to make sure that the pool that you're attending is safe?
Yes, sir.
You want to make sure it has all the things that you need to make sure that you have a safe outing?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
correct.
where do we start? What's number 1?
The first thing I was going to talk about was where the emergency phone is located.
Let's walk over here and look at that. Now, all the swimming pools that you inspect, all the public pools, are required to have a phone? Is that right?
Yes, sir. That is correct. And I understand that, in this day and age, everyone has a cell phone.
Right.
But we don't always have good cell phone reception,
Right.
low battery, things of that nature could become a problem. Every pool that we have in Wayne County has an emergency telephone located somewhere on the pool deck, or there'll be a sign located that directs you to where the emergency phone is.
Okay, now the sign here says 911 emergency telephone, push button to dial. This phone will auto dial. Please stay on the line and follow the operator's instructions. So this is a direct link to the 911 operator.
Yes, sir. This right here will connect you to an operator. All our emergency phones will have dialing instructions somewhere located around the phone.
Okay.
And we also require that they have an address so that the person, if they're not familiar with the area, can read to the 911 operator and let them know where they're at.
And the sign here says, of course, Reserve at Bradbury Place. That's where we are. And the location, 560 West New Hope Road, Goldsboro, and a local telephone number.
Yes, sir, that's
So
correct.
they're all required to have these phones all the public pools are required to have these phones.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And if the phone is not visible on the pool deck,
Yeah.
there should be a sign that directs you to where the phone is.
Okay. All right, very good. That's important. I hadn't even thought about a phone being nearby. So,
Yes, sir.
So what's number 2? Where do we go from here?
The next thing I would do is if I was a citizen here in Wayne County and I was coming to a pool, whether I was familiar or not, I would come by and take a look, just walk around the pool deck and just look at the water clarity. The first thing about the water clarity would be, can I see the bottom of the pool? And
Okay.
there are various reasons why a pool becomes cloudy and not visible. People adding chemicals to it, imbalance in some of the chemicals that are put in it, they cause it to be cloudy, and you can't see the bottom of the pool. If that's a situation that you notice, you need to alert the people that are running the pool or call environmental health. The main purpose in pool clarity is if a person becomes distressed or has an accident and they're at the bottom of the pool, you won't be able to see them.
Oh, okay.
So visibility and pool clarity is very important with our pools. That's
right.
one of the main items on our sheet that we look for. If a pool is not clear and you cannot see the bottom of the pool, we won't open it or we'll close it.
That's a big problem.
Yes,
you have
sir.
to be able to see the bottom of the pool.
And that also includes nighttime swimming, and that includes the lights that are affixed around the pool and inside the pool. If you go to a pool at night and maybe some of the lights are not working, it causes dark shadows in the pool where you can't visibly see. If someone was to have a problem, you wouldn't be able to locate them.
Okay. All right, that is important. Lights above the pool and
Yes,
and
sir.
in the pool.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So you got to be able to see the bottom. All right. Number 3.
Number 3 would be the drain covers, and as you see, we have 2 drain covers in the bottom of this pool.
Okay.
The first thing that we look for when we come out is we look to see if the drain covers are intact and in good repair. And we have 2 out here. They're easy to see. That goes back to the clarity in the pool. You know, can you see the drain covers? Because that's where all the water is being pulled out of the pool
Okay.
into the pump rooms
Okay, it's being pulled out of the pool and it's being filtered in the pump rooms and
and returned
to the pool.
Yes, sir.
Now there's a certain amount of suction on these.
Yes, sir, and that is one of the biggest things that the state has addressed with suction hazards. North Carolina has a great regulation on all the pools and safety features. There's multiple layers of safety on all our pools, especially the new ones that are being designed today. And these dual drain pools here are very safe. But the one thing that we want to make sure is that the drain covers are in place, intact, not broken, jagged, and everything is in good repair.
Now, where some people may run into a problem, not in North Carolina, but what has happened tragically in the past is that a drain cover was either taken off or removed for whatever reason.
Yes, sir.
And a small person or a child could get stuck on that drain without the cover and not be able to free themselves, and that results in tragedy.
Yes, sir, it does.
And we don't have that problem in North Carolina because these drain covers prevent that from happening. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That is their purpose. They are designed to handle 100% of the flow from these pumps that are drawing in on them. And there's also dual pumps. So if one person was to block a drain, the other drain would start working, and then you don't have any suction hazard there.
And that would free the person from that drain.
Correct.
All right, sir. All right, that is important. All right, number 4.
The next item we would talk about is the safety equipment. When you come to a pool, you need to look around the pool deck and locate our safety equipment, which is located on the far side of the pool over here.
Yeah.
You'll see a ring buoy attached to a rope,
Right.
and there's a shepherd's hook. Now, not all pools have these, especially if they have lifeguards. So if you have lifeguards stationed at a pool, you might not see the safety equipment there.
Okay.
Because you can have a lifeguard with not really ring buoys, but they would have like safety tubes, rescue tubes, and
Okay.
they're trained to use those. So whether it be a lifeguard on station or safety equipment, that would be the first thing I'd want to locate whenever I walked into a pool.
Okay, so if a family walks in and there are children involved, or in fact if there's adults involved, you want to make sure you have that safety equipment, locate the safety equipment, easy access to it.
Yes, sir.
Now, what does the law require? Does the law require either safety equipment or a lifeguard, or can you have neither one?
Yes, sir. Most of the time there is either safety equipment or a lifeguard, with the flotation devices that they use, the rescue tubes, things of that nature.
Right.
It can be substituted for some of the safety equipment. But whenever you walk into a pool, identify your safety equipment or lifeguard that's on duty.
Okay, very good. Would you wave at the lifeguard and say, "Hey, I'm here"? Yeah. Hey, look, watch me now.
No, well, you really don't have to, but
Because
if
they see you, don't they?
Yes, sir. They'll be watching you.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch them.
Okay. Very good. Just checking.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. Now, number 5. Where are we going?
Well, this is just a miscellaneous thing. This is some of the smaller things that you notice around the pool.
Okay.
Like trip hazards, if there's anything. Some places are not quite as nice as some of these concrete decks, and they'll have wood spacers inside the concrete. Sometimes they're
yeah.
elevated a little bit. You know, they cause trip hazards.
Oh, yeah. Well, the wood itself is coming up out of the
Yes, sir.
concrete a little
Yeah,
bit.
It gets a little bit old,
Yeah.
wet, and drying, and it tends to pop up a little bit. Just familiarize yourself with things like that. There'll be some of our older pools have where they used to have a diving board. Maybe they put in some type of railing or something around it. It causes a trip hazard. A lot of these people have addressed them by putting lifeguard stands over them so people don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Some of your fill spouts that they use to fill to the pool, you know, they'll put something over it so kids won't be running around the pool
Yeah.
deck and trip over it and things of that nature.
Okay. So just be aware of the lay of the land.
Yes, sir.
Just
Yes, sir.
Look for trip hazards. And
Yeah.
look for things lying around, too, that you might
Yes, sir.
drink bottles or something like that could roll under you.
Yes, sir, that is correct. One of the other things is kind of one of my pet peeves, but our ladders that we have here. There's cushions on the back side of the ladder, and these steel tubing ladders here.
These ladders?
Yes, sir. There will be a cushion on the back side of these ladders.
All right.
If you walk with me over here.
Okay, we're going to walk over here. Sorry to put our backs to the camera there like that, but
We like to come by and make sure that these are secure and in place, which they are.
okay.
And there's cushions located on the back side on the pool wall of these tubings, and you might not can see them on camera, but what we have here is when these cushions fall off, you have an open tubing, and I like to think of it as kind of like a cookie cutter. So you don't want anyone to stick their hand behind it, and then if someone was to step onto the ladder, you would have a cutting action there.
Okay, now where would this cushion be?
This cushion is located right up against the wall. It's the white cushions that you see down here,
Right here.
on the back side of the ladder,
On the back.
on the very bottom.
Very bottom.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's at the very bottom of this this ladder, and they press up against the wall. It's what secures the ladder against
Oh,
the
I
wall.
see.
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
Sure. Okay.
And we like to make sure those are in place because there is a cutting feature there that could happen.
Okay, so that's a pet peeve of yours.
Yes, sir. I always look for those,
Okay. All right, very good.
and that's pretty much the majority of the things that anybody could come into a pool and look for.
So just make sure that as you do enjoy a swimming pool, this time of year especially, that you keep safety in mind. That's the most important thing, right?
Yes, sir. Always be aware of your surroundings.
Be aware of your surroundings. Make sure that there's nothing around that you can trip over. Make sure that your own items are out of the way.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to trip over those that cause an accident for somebody else. And you want to make sure that as you're walking around the pool deck area, that there's nothing in the way that would cause you to trip. What do? You tell somebody, hey, is this yours? Get it out of the way. You do that?
Yes, sir. That would be a couple of the things we would look for, any
Okay.
type of trip hazards. But
Okay.
general things around the pool, most people are going to clean up. Nobody wants to see their kids having an accident on the pool
That's
deck.
right. Nobody wants to see anybody having an accident. And of course, look for a lifeguard and or the flotation device and the shepherd's hook,
Yes, sir.
and just have a good time. Enjoy.
Yes,
right?
sir.
All right. My hand is still wet, but we want to thank Scott Lewis for giving us a tour and things to look for as you enjoy the summer at your swimming pool.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate your being there. Go Wayne Go, the summer walk and roll series every Thursday. Actually, this will be every other Thursday. They're going to skip a week here. The next one will be on July 14th. And on July 14th in Mount Olive, the UMO, the University of Mount Olive Trek, you all meet at the Steele Memorial Library. That's on Main Street downtown, at Steele Memorial Library, beginning at 6 p.m., I guess. Yes. 119 West Main Street, Mount Olive, and that's where it will begin. A 15-minute session, a reading session, will take place before the walk. Okay, that's at the library, July 14th, 6 p.m. All right, what else?
And they also still have their Saturday walks.
Oh yeah, They offer a self-led group. Thank you for that. A self-led group walks every Saturday beginning at 9 o'clock, 1 hour walk. Reminders on Go Wayne Go webpage and Facebook page as well. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you straightened me out on that one. Okay, and that's not led by anybody in particular. You just go and you walk with a lot of other people there. And there's a lot of people that attend that sort of thing. Okay, we mentioned the July 14th. That's also the date of the next Center Street Jam with the Band of Oz. And it's also the date at 10 a.m. that same day for the Maxwell Regional Agricultural and Convention Center groundbreaking at the Wayne Memorial Drive intersection with New Hope Road there.
Yes.
Okay, Red Cross coming up with a blood drive in about a week, and this will be on in Eureka. In Eureka, I found it. Eureka United Methodist Church, 128 North Church Street, beginning at 2 p.m. is the next Red Cross blood drive. Okay, today's birthdays, I have that.
Oh, wow.
Having a birthday today, believe it or not. You remember you ever heard of Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
One of the main stars, the star who played Melanie, her name was Olivia de Havilland, one of my favorite actresses. She was wonderful in that movie. She was, aside from Scarlett O'Hara, she was the next major star. Olivia de Havilland, she is, a lot of people don't realize that she is Joan Fontaine's sister. Now, Joan Fontaine and Olivia de Havilland had a falling out. There was a little bit of jealousy, sibling jealousy there between the two of them. Now, they were both born in Japan. I think one of them's father was, their father was an ambassador or something like that. But they were American kids born in Japan, and they came back over here, and Olivia got into acting, and Joan got a little jealous about that. Anyway, there was some rivalry there. And for years, there was one point it got so bad they didn't even talk to each other, and that's a shame when you don't even talk to your own sister. But anyway, I digress. Olivia de Havilland is having a birthday today, a fantastic actress, an amazing actress. Not only did Gone with the Wind, but so many other things as well. She's 100 years today.
100?
100 years old today. She was born this day in 1916. Wow. Yeah, isn't that great? Leslie Caron, the French-American actress and dancer. Yeah, 85 today. Jamie Farr, who played Klinger on MASH. TV show MASH?
I remember MASH.
The Korean War? Okay, Klinger. He was the one that dressed up in women's clothing all the time, trying to get a Section 8 to get out of service. Okay, we won't even go any further. Okay. Mike Burston having a birthday. Klinger is 82 today. I mean, Jamie Farr is. He's 82. And Mike Burston, 71. Julianne Nicholson, an actress, is 45 years today.
Very good.
All right, coming up, we've got our trivia question here. You're not going to believe this one. You are not going to believe this one. Okay? The fellow's name is William Moulton Marston, M-A-R-S-T-E-N. He was a psychologist. Dr. Marston is credited with inventions. He invented the systolic blood pressure test. Now, that's a component of the lie detector test, the modern polygraph. He invented that test, the systolic blood pressure test, but he also invented, or created, I should say, he's credited with the creation of a fictional superhero. He was a writer, and he created a fictional superhero that everybody knows. Some people would say, that's not a superhero. No. But it was. Comic books, movies, television, blockbuster. Superhero. And he is credited with creating this particular so he was a psychologist and he created this person. Who did he create? Fictional character, superhero. Okay, that's the trivia question for today. What do you think? His name is Marston, M-A-R-S-T-E-N, Dr. Marston. I'll give you the answer in the next segment of the program, and we'll be back after this segment on Wayne Goldsboro Television from the University of Mount Olive.
Good afternoon. I'm Don Nail, the Director of the Governor's Highway Safety Program. On behalf of Governor Pat McCrory and Transportation Secretary Nick Tennyson, I'd like to welcome you to our Booze It and Lose It Operation Firecracker Enforcement Media event this afternoon. We're in the fourth day of our annual campaign that will continue through July 4th. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our law enforcement partners that have joined us this afternoon and extend my appreciation to all they do, not only in our campaign period, but throughout the year to curb the number of impaired drivers on our roadways. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize Adam Caldwell, representing Senator Thom Tillis. He's joined us today. Thank you, Adam, for being here, and thank you for all the Senator does to help us in the battle against impaired driving. Operation Firecracker will include stepped-up patrols and checking stations across the state, cracking down on impaired drivers. During last year's campaign, which ran from June 26th through July 5th, there were 41 fatalities, including 17 alcohol-related fatalities in North Carolina. Last year, North Carolina had 1,377 traffic fatalities, including 405 alcohol-related deaths. So far in 2016, there have been 612 fatalities statewide, including 142 that were alcohol-related. The positive news is that impaired driving fatalities this year are down 53 compared to the same time period last year. As many of you know, Governor McCrory has declared North Carolina as a Vision Zero state, which means our ultimate goal is to have zero fatalities and serious injuries on our roadways. We recently updated our state's strategic highway safety plan, which aims to reduce traffic fatalities by half by the end of 2030. This is no small task, to say the least, but through our collaborative efforts, we are making some progress. When you look at the past 10 years, we've had about 150 days, or about 4%, with no traffic fatalities on our roadways. That's encouraging news, but we still have some days where we have many fatalities, but we are seeing some days where we have zero, so that's encouraging to us. And we have a vast network of roadways in North Carolina, some 80,000 miles worth of roadways. We do still face a daunting challenge, and we want to do everything we can to increase the number of fatality-free days here in North Carolina. Efforts like our Booze It and Lose It campaign, which started 22 years ago, plays a huge part in realizing this goal by getting impaired drivers off of our roadways and discouraging reckless behavior that puts everyone's safety in jeopardy. Since its inception, North Carolina law enforcement agencies have conducted over 366,000 checking stations and saturation patrols during our enforcement campaigns, resulting in nearly 1.5 million DWI arrests. Our campaigns help people realize that drinking and driving is a matter of life and death, and that one wrong decision can have devastating consequences. As our state continues to grow and more people travel more miles on our highways, it is all the more important that we continue to execute efforts that protect everyone. Another component that adds to the success of our enforcement campaigns is the inclusion of the breath alcohol testing mobile units, otherwise known as the Batmobile program. There are currently 10 Batmobiles in North Carolina, maintained by the Forensic Test for Alcohol branch within the Department of Health and Human Services. We're very fortunate to have this critical support program as part of our enforcement efforts in North Carolina. The Batmobile units are specially equipped 32 to 45 foot vehicles designed to enable law enforcement agencies to immediately process impaired drivers on site at driving while impaired checkpoints, which increases the efficiency of our officers. The Batmobile units are equipped with officer workstations, breath alcohol testing instruments, cellular phones, computers, a lavatory, DWI checking station signs, and all the necessary supplies to process an impaired driver. There's even an office on board for the magistrate so they can do their processing on board at the checking station. Having this equipment more readily available to law enforcement agencies throughout the state and equipping the vehicles to be more versatile for enforcement of all types of impaired driving offenses, not just alcohol, saves taxpayer dollars and helps increase awareness of enforcement. Today behind me you can see one of our Batmobile units. It represents an investment of over $2.5 million by the Governor's Highway Safety Program into this valuable resource for our officers. I would like to recognize Jason Smith. Jason is right over there in the blue shirt. Jason is the Batmobile coordinator for this unit, and we really appreciate all the work that he puts in. He works long hours, he works nights, weekends, and we really appreciate all that you do and your whole team does to help remove impaired drivers from our roadways and support law enforcement efforts. Thank you. Today we are in Goldsboro, and close by is the home of our brave men and women in uniform of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. And there's a lot of work still left to be done in this county. Wayne County had 10 alcohol-related fatalities in last year, and that was a decrease from 13 in 2014. This county ranks 10th in the most alcohol-related fatalities in North Carolina. Since the beginning of this year, as of June 22nd, Wayne County has already had 84 alcohol-related crashes, and regretfully, two of those crashes resulted in fatalities, and one of those folks was also unbelted at the time of the crash. During 2015, the Governor's Highway Safety Program began funding a full-time impaired driving enforcement task force in Wayne County, and is now led by Sergeant Jason Hill. This unit is dedicated to removing impaired drivers from the county's roadways, making sure everyone is buckled up on each and every trip. The Governor's Highway Safety Program funds similar task force efforts in Brunswick, Buncombe, Forsyth, Guilford, Mecklenburg, New Hanover, Robeson County, Union, and Wake counties. I'd like to introduce you to Wayne County Sheriff Larry Pierce, and he's going to talk a little bit about what his agency is doing on the enforcement side and the education side and this DWI task force. Thank you. Sheriff.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today as we kick off our initiative of the Booze It and Lose It campaign for 2016. Last year, I was elated when I was notified that Wayne County had been approved to receive funds through the Governor's Highway Safety Program to develop a DWI task force. With guidance and funding from this program, we were able to place 4 task force members on the roads and highways of Wayne County. Wayne County is ranked 9th among the deadliest counties in the state for motor vehicle collisions, and 10th in the state, as you've already heard, for alcohol-related fatalities. From 2010 to 2014, Wayne County averaged 7.8 alcohol-related fatalities per year, with 2014 being the deadliest with 12 fatalities. Since its inception in October of last year, our task force has arrested 155 drunk drivers, which averages 1 impaired driver for every 8.4 traffic stops. We are making a difference. Sometimes people ask, why is the Sheriff's Office working traffic enforcement? My answer is, why not? It doesn't matter the color of the uniform or the shape of the badge. We as law enforcement officers need to work together jointly to stop the crashes, to stop the underage drinking, and to ensure that our children and our spouses and our friends arrive alive. We are all affected by drunk drivers in some way. If that driver makes the decision to operate a motor vehicle impaired, it is all of us that have a responsibility to act. As we approach this July 4th holiday season, I pray that it will be safe for all our families and friends. I pray that our officers will be safe as they carry out this vital mission of tackling our county's DWI problem. And I hope that through this year's Booze It, Lose It campaign, our task force, along with all of our fellow enforcement officers, we will give the impaired driver of Wayne County a holiday that they will never forget. Again, thank you for being here today, and thank you for allowing Wayne County to be part of this program.
Thanks, Sheriff Pierce. The Governor's Highway Safety Program really appreciates your dedication, your leadership here in Wayne County, and we know that through your efforts and through this team's efforts that folks in this county are going to be much safer and protected from impaired drivers, and thank you. While there's no way to measure the exact number of lives that have been saved as a result of our enforcement efforts, we know that the efforts have helped prevent the potential for tragedy and spare additional lives on our roadways. I'd like to thank all of North Carolina's law enforcement agencies and officers across the state for what they've done to help support the Governor's Highway Safety Program and all of our Booze It and Lose It and our Click It or Ticket, all of our campaigns that we run. But I would especially like to thank them for all the efforts that they put in and day out throughout the year. During these non-campaign periods, they're out working just as hard as they would be during the campaign to help identify and remove impaired drivers from our roadways, making it safer for my family and for your family and for all the other families in North Carolina to be able to travel safely to work, to family activities, or to our many, many destinations that we've got in North Carolina. I know that you're going to be out in full force during this holiday period, working long hours, working nights, weekends, to help make sure that citizens of North Carolina remain safe from impaired drivers, and I thank you. The 4th of July is the time that we celebrate our freedoms. We decided to hold our media event today in Goldsboro in close proximity to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base to honor these freedoms and those who protect them. I'm honored to have joining us today someone that has and continues to fight for our freedoms that we enjoy. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Staff Sergeant James Marks, 4th Security Forces Squadron, United States Air Force. Thank you, Staff Sergeant Marks, for joining us today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Staff Sergeant James Marks from the 4th Security Forces Squadron at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. On behalf of my Chief of Police and our leadership team, thank you to the State of North Carolina Department of Transportation for inviting security forces to share with other agencies represented here today on why it is never a good idea to drink and drive. Alcohol and drug abuse and treatment program, The Air Force clearly outlines the culture and standards by which all airmen are instructed to follow on and off duty. The responsible and legal consumption of alcohol is permitted in the Air Force. However, there is a zero-tolerance policy against drunk and impaired driving. Zero tolerance meaning that an instance of drunk driving will be punished severely to ensure it won't happen again, to make an example to others. The Air Force enforces zero-tolerance policy by first ensuring all airmen receive proper education through the Air Force ADAP or ADAP program, which is the Alcohol and Drug Abuse and Treatment Program, to prevent alcohol-related issues before a problem can develop. The primary objectives of the ADAP are to promote readiness, health, wellness through the prevention and treatment of substance misuse and abuse to individuals, families, and organizations. ADAP provides education at Seymour Johnson and within the local communities through the demonstrations of impaired driving and providing tools that airmen and their families can use to prevent drunk driving. Airmen Against Drunk Driving, or AADD, is another active program at Seymour Johnson that gives our airmen a second option once they're already out and have been drinking. Airmen can call a number on Friday and Saturday nights and receive a no-cost, no questions asked ride home from bars or parties. This program is staffed by base volunteers and funded through the USO, the Base Top 3 Association, and the Airmen and Family Readiness Center. The Airmen Against Drunk Driving volunteers provide awareness at base introductions and newcomers briefings at base and wing functions. In the Air Force, we share the responsibility of looking after our fellow airmen and making sure that we are taking care of each other and making it home safely. Our airmen are taught to be and reminded frequently that DUIs are a serious business, and that if you drink alcoholic beverages and then decide to get behind the wheel of a motorized vehicle, not only do you violate the North Carolina state law, but a DUI is in violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And more importantly, you endanger your life and the lives of others. We teach our airmen that if you choose to drink, have a plan. For every case of drunk driving that happens within our communities, the one common thread is that individual who decided to get behind the wheel did not have a plan. A failure to plan is a plan doomed to fail from the very beginning. With this in mind, we encourage all airmen to have a plan before going out. Have a designated driver, money set aside for a taxi ride, or the number to AADD. If the initial plan falls through, we encourage airmen to contact their direct senior ranking supervisor or to assist in arranging a ride home for them. Next is to remain at a safe location until someone from their unit leadership can assist in a safe transportation solution back to their place of residence. Lastly, walking home is better than driving home, but should be avoided if the member is seriously impaired to limit the chance of bodily harm. For Air Force military members, regardless if a DUI or DWI on or off base, the military member will be subject to disciplinary action under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. For both enlisted and officers, a DUI could result in a combination of criminal conviction, demotion, forfeitures of pay, render members ineligible for promotions, or non-recommendation for enlistment. Clearly, the Air Force takes this issue very seriously. Security Forces at Seymour Johnson upholds and mandated Air Force instructions and Uniform Code of Military Justice through policing and installation both military and civilian activities. The primary focus of the 4th Security Forces Squadron is to serve and protect the base community. Individuals who choose to drink and drive pose a serious threat to both its members and property, and therefore will be dealt with accordingly to the severity of the incident with the fullest extent of the law. With alcohol-related incidents that occur on base, military personnel will be processed by the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and civilian personnel will be turned over to Goldsboro Police Department and handled appropriately. The cost of a DUI, to put plainly, is severe and long-lasting in every aspect. Any single incident of a drunk driving will, without a doubt, place anyone's military career in serious danger and could very well impact the rest of your life. It's just not worth it. Thank you for allowing us to stand alongside other agencies represented here today and speak about this important issue. Thank you for serving the people of the great state of North Carolina and taking purposeful action to prevent more tragedies within our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant Marks. We really appreciate the work that you do for all the United States citizens and your service to our country. Thank you for what Seymour Johnson and the Air Force is doing to offer solutions to impaired drivers for the airmen. Thank you. The Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina Department of Transportation will be utilizing social media to help get the message out about this heightened awareness period. The You're Smarter Than That campaign reminds people to plan ahead if they choose to drink. To call a cab, phone a friend, ride a bus if that's available, use an app on your phone. All these will help save your life and those around you this holiday. The You're Smarter Than That campaign is now complemented with a mobile website, besmarterthanthat.com, that users can use to get home safely. I'd like to thank Sergeant Josh Steins of the Goldsboro Police Department, our Wayne County Law Enforcement Coordinator, and our Law Enforcement Liaison for this region, Sergeant Smokey Pierce with the Eden Police Department. I'd also like to thank David Williams for all he's doing as the Alcohol Coordinator for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. But most importantly, I would like to once again thank all of our law enforcement partners that are here today and those that couldn't join us that throughout the state, and all they do day in, day out to help us in this battle against impaired driving. Thanks to the Forensic Test for Alcohol branch with the Department of Health and Human Services, our district attorneys across the state that support our enforcement efforts, the Conference of District Attorneys, all they do with training to help the officers and the DAs, MAD, we appreciate their partnership, and all the other partners out there that help us in this ongoing battle against impaired driving. As you celebrate with your friends or family the birth of our nation, I urge everyone who gets behind the wheel to make smart decisions that can often make the difference between life and death. Drive safe, drive sober, and make sure that you're buckled up and everyone in your vehicle's buckled up regardless of their seated position. And I remind all motorists out on our roadways that if they see law enforcement, our fire and rescue personnel, our DOT crews, our tow truck drivers, or other emergency vehicles out on the roadway, if they see them at the side of the road with their emergency lights in operation, to make sure that they slow down and move over. we want to make sure that we protect those that are out there to protect us. I hope all of you have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. Thank you for attending today's event.
And we're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television, and hope you're doing well today. We're in our final segment of the program. Thanks for being with us. Quick reminder, the Monday program will be a best of series because it's a holiday, of course. We're going to take the day off. Courthouse will be closed. The landfill will be closed on Monday. However, for commercial haulers will be available, will be allowed into the landfill on Wednesday. It's not open to the public, but commercial haulers will be able to get into the landfill on Wednesday. Landfill and convenience centers will be closed on Monday and Wednesday. And the Wayne County Public Library, all the library and branches will be closed on Monday. That's our 4th of July holiday schedule, okay?
Yes. And then on July the 5th is the Board of Commissioners meeting. Agenda
Oh, that's
starting at
right.
8 o'clock.
That's right. That's exactly right. The Wayne County Board of Commissioners meeting at 8 o'clock for the agenda briefing and 9 o'clock for the regular meeting.
That's right.
Well, you know, everybody's invited to that. And I wish more people would come and just sit and listen and watch. You can learn a lot about what's going on in your community. On July 12th, there's 3 meetings,
July 7th.
okay? On July 7th, there's 2 meetings. On July 7th, there's 2 meetings. The first is at the American Legion Post 103, and that's in Mount Olive. That's the Mount Olive American Legion. And that's at 6:30, 708 North Chestnut Street, 708 North Chestnut. On July 7th, the same evening, at the Marine Corps League will have their meeting at 7 o'clock, and they meet at 2973 Highway 117 South, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the American Legion hut there, Post 11. Okay? All right, that's at 7 o'clock that evening. Then on July 12th, there's 3 meetings. The VFW meeting, Post 9959 at 6:30 on North Church Street in Mount Olive at their office there, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And the same evening, that's Post 9959, the same evening, Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2615 meeting at 6 o'clock at the American Legion Post on Highway 11 rather, in Dudley. Okay, and then I said there's 3, but there's only 2.
There's 3.
Is there 3? There's another one. American Legion Brian Best Post 215. That'll be meeting at 7 o'clock at the 212 East Mulberry Street location. That's the DAV office downtown Goldsboro near the courthouse. 212 East Mulberry Street, the American Legion Post 215 on July 12th. All right.
And that's for the Wayne County Veterans and Patriots Coalition.
Yeah, that list is provided to us by the Veterans and Patriots Coalition. We appreciate Vic Miller and Bill Graham and all those fine folks for letting us know what's going on. The Veterans and Patriots Coalition is kind of an umbrella group. They get all this information together from each of the veterans organizations, and then they'll post it. We post it on our TV channel, and we'll post it online on our webpage as well,
Yes.
on our Facebook. And so they do a great job of organizing this and keeping it all together. Okay, this is the last segment. That means it's time for our trivia question answer, right?
Yes.
I have the answer right here. And the gentleman's name again was Dr. Marsden. Dr. Marsden was a psychologist, very smart man. And he is credited with inventing the systolic blood pressure test, which is used by lie detectors and has been for so many years. But he's also credited with creating a very famous superhero. He's credited with the writings of the stories and the comic books and the movies and the big TV show and everything. This was a very popular TV show back in the mid-'70s, late '70s, early '80s. Superhero? Doesn't ring any bells.
Nope.
His name is Dr. William Moulton Marsden, and he created Wonder Woman.
Really?
He did. Psychologist created Wonder Woman. How about that? And now you know almost the rest of the story. If I knew the rest of the story, I'd be happy to tell you, but I don't know the rest of the story. So we're going to go.
Okay.
Okay? We got to get out of here. We'll do this again bright and early Tuesday morning. Hope you're able to join us at that time. 7 a.m. we start, and then the show repeats at noon. Then the show will repeat again at 5:30 p.m. So until Tuesday, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And from the University of Mount Olive campus in Mount Olive, North Carolina, USA, here on Earth, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.
Thank you, Fergus.